Hey everyone, what's this? What is this? A gaming themed background? Perhaps some halfway decent lighting? What could this be? Could it possibly be Keith trying out a set for a new video shoot? Maybe. Anyway, let's get down to business, shall we? We are here for week 6 pickups. Yeah, I think it's 6. And I got a decent little haul this week. I was a bit scared that I wouldn't find anything for you guys. On Thursday I had nothing, but then Friday I got a whole stack of stuff, which I got right here. So let's go through it. Now, the weekly total was reset last week to $90 because of a number of things I sold. I just decided to round it down to there, which is, yeah, it's just about right, so we'll stay there. So our first game. Now, not all these games were even bought for the prices on the label, so I'll tell you how much I'm going to count them as we go. But our first game is Shamu's Deep Sea Adventure. I believe that this is the SeaWorld, which is the for the Australian viewers, it's the American SeaWorld, not the Australian SeaWorld. I'm not certain if they're linked, but yeah, it's a game where it's a side-scrolling sort of. Basically think like kinda Echo the Dolphin, but not quite as complex from what I've tried. And yeah, you play as Shamu, the killer whale, and I might be completely wrong at this, I haven't looked it up, but I do believe that that is the whale which ended up dying in SeaWorld's captivity, or at least there was a huge controversy about it because its conditions were so poor. But anyway, I got that for, I think I said for this whole haul here it was 16, so if I don't end up saying that it'll be 16, but yeah, we'll call this one $1 that I got that for. So Shamu's Adventure, that's the first game. I'll just chuck that there. Next one I got, this was at CEX Parramatta. Yep, that last one was at Liverpool, this one's Parramatta. And we have Fishing Fantasy Buzzrod. I think I've talked a little bit previously about how I've recently decided to start collecting what's it called, fishing games, because I got a rod controller. But this one actually looks like it might be, if I end up keeping one, then it might be this one, because this one seems to be a bit more cartoony and arcadey and playful with the concept of catching fish. If I just show you some of the stuff here. It looks a bit more playful, and there's stuff with like quests and messengers of God and stuff like that, so it's interesting. But something I realized a bit later when I took a look at this case. Now, I assumed that this game had been recased, because as you see here, it's just a standard black DVD case, no interesting logos or anything. And also, to the touch, it is that sort of textured, DVD case that you don't really get much anymore, but it's not smooth, it's got a bit of texturing to it, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, interestingly, if we take a look at the positioning of the stickers, you see we have the G for General here, covering a PEGI rating. Then we have another one on the back, and then the thing that's most interesting to me, we have one on the spine. Now if we take a look at the games we have here, which I realize is quite opportune, see if I can find an example. But you can see that a lot of PS2 games had their rating on the spine. This is not something that was often the case with DVDs. And if we look a bit, cause I'll see if I can quickly find one. But some of them, which had cases which were imported from, European or American ones, they did actually have a physical sticker put onto the spine, and it doesn't look like I have any right here that I can show you, which is unfortunate. I know I've got some somewhere, but I'm just not seeing them now, so we'll ignore that. But a resale place who recased this game wouldn't put 3 stickers on like that. So, and also 505 Game Street, budget publisher. I am thinking that this is the official packaging for this, and it's completely non-standard to PS2, which is very interesting. If anybody else knows of any other examples like this, please let me know, because I'm always interested in case variants like this. I mean, as you see, like, I recase my games in brightly colored cases sometimes. So, yeah, an interesting find, and I'm excited to play it eventually. Next one that comes up, we have from CEX no, not CEX, Cash Converters Fairfield, we have the Simpsons game. I already have Hit and Run and Road Rage. I found this, it was only $4, and it was complete, so I decided why not go for it. They had another one there for $3, but that didn't have a manual, so yeah. I mean, I could have just been an asshole and swapped them right there, but no. But yeah, I kind of want to try this. It looks interesting. My friend Lewis tells me that it's not the best. It's also on the 360, so if I upgrade to the 360, I might not bother with this one. I don't know if it's worth it, but we'll see. So anyway, so next we have Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. Paid $2 for this one, and I haven't really heard much about it. I know it's a shooter. I know it's got Vin Diesel in it, and basically the entire reason that I bought this, apart from it being cheap, was because in Zero Punctuation, Yahtzee had called Riddick a good game series. So yeah, I'm excited to try it out. It's got good reviews. Yeah, another Xbox shooter. I mean, like, I've got enough of them, but yeah, whatever. Next game. Sticker price on this one, despite it saying $6, was actually $4, but we'll call it $2. Donald Duck PK. And this one, I played a little bit of it, and it was a little bit dodgy with the controls, but it was fun enough though to do it. It's basically an action platformer where you play Donald Duck as a superhero. And yeah, you go around and you don't have a melee attack as far as I can tell. It's gun only, but it had a fairly interesting gameplay, and so long as it's not too long, I think I'll give it a try. But yeah, I've actually been wanting to grab this one for a while, but it previously was a bit more expensive than this. But yeah, $2 cash paid for that. So very good. Next, next we have Zathura, which was an CEX game based on the movie, which it's kind of like Jumanji but sci-fi. I believe it was even made by the same people. I'm not certain though. So yeah, basically run around, jumping on stuff, punching crates, etc. Really sort of weird frame rate and control system on this one. It just didn't feel fluid at all. When I tried it out only for a little bit, but this one might not stay in the collection very long. It's also, unfortunately, doesn't have multiplayer, which with those kind of games I do like to have multiplayer. I played through the entirety of see, is it here? Narnia, Witch and Wardrobe with my girlfriend. That was a very fun game, actually, to play multiplayer, very memeable. But yeah, so it's for a bit of a disappointment so far, but I'll give it a little more of a chance, see if it can claw its way up into mediocrity. Don't see me reviewing it anytime soon unless I get requests for it, but yeah, that's that. And we have only 2 games left, and the first one was Star Trek Encounters. Now, I thought that this was going to be a standard flying game, but it's weird. It's two-dimensional, and like whichever direction you point the stick in is where it moves on the 2D plane. And and your other stick is an aimer for your various weapons, and you need to take out ships that way. It's a bit interesting. It got very mixed reviews when it first came out, and I don't know anything about Star Trek, but I thought it was a flying game, and you know, it's not too bad. I mean, I'll sink some time into it, see if I ever get the chance to see there's anything made by Bethesda back when their name didn't mean shit, but. Yeah, so Star Trek Encounters, call that one $1. And we come to our final game. I believe it is. I don't see any others lying around that I needed. This feels about right. So, yeah, final game. And it is Lemmings for PS2. I've owned a number of versions of Lemmings over the years, but I've never actually sat down and played one. Currently, I have this one. Which was $3, and Lemmings 3D on PS1. And I played a tiny bit of Lemmings 3D, but didn't really sink any time into it. Now I got this. I've also owned the PC 3-game collection, which came with Lemmings, more Lemmings, and Lemmings Pinball, but I ended up selling that on because it was an old Windows game and I couldn't be bothered getting it to run. But this one looks interesting. Might give it a try. You know, LGR has always recommended Lemmings, so I might do it. And also, interestingly, something I like to try to see how well it works is if you see there, let me just get that in the. That's close enough. You can see that. Yeah, iToy levels, which should be interesting. And I can see that we got 4 minutes left on the 3 minutes left on the old memory card there. So I chucked that away. I bought a few more games, which I'm going to sell. There was actually, I'll see if I can quickly see them. Don't go away. Oh yes, that's right. I bought Ecco the Dolphin and SingStar Disney to sell off. The reason I bought Ecco the Dolphin is actually, you know what, I will show you. Where is my copy of Ecco the Dolphin? It's back here somewhere. There it is. Whoa, okay, everything's fallen apart. This is very bad. I've got something precariously balanced here. One moment. Okay, this is the Ecco the Dolphin I bought to sell. And I just realized that wouldn't visually work for what I want, so let's just take this apart for a second. Let's just take... Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so, yeah, we've still got time. So this is my copy of Ecco the Dolphin. I actually upgraded it from the one I had before. The disc is slightly better on this one. But the reason I bought another copy of Ecco Dolphin primarily was for this. The little advertising sheet that came in there. It's double-sided, so I needed 2 if I wanted to, because eventually I want to frame a whole bunch of these. But I love these little hardware advertisement sheets. They're in a bunch of random PS2 games. But I like this one particularly because it advertises the RGB cables, RGB SCART cables for PS2, which I like My Life in Gaming, so the YouTube show, so. I just really like that, and I want to eventually frame a bunch of those. But I think we got 2 minutes left on the old clock, so we better wrap up quick. First of all, I got a question on the last video from another Australian game chaser. He wanted to know where I get my games from. Primarily, I get my games from CEX. That's because I have a little scam I'm running with them. It's not really a scam, it's perfectly above board, but I like to call it a scam, which basically means I can double my money with them. One day I'll tell you guys, but I'm going to take full advantage of it while I can before I let my secret out. If you really want to know, private DM me on Twitter and I'll let you know, but not at the moment. Also, I get my games a lot from Cash Converters because they generally price everything that goes for under $10, $15 way down. Of course, every Cash Converters is different because just checking the time there, I've got 1 minute shit. Because everything freaking hell, I think. Okay, they price everything really low under a certain threshold, so you can get some really cheap things and you can get some really good bargains. And I op shop a lot. Lifeline tends to be the best for me, but in some areas Salvo is the best. I found God Hand up here at a Salvo's once for $2.50. So that was pretty good, considering that's a $40 game. But anyway, I've got to wrap up now. I've got a lot of flashing things on the dashboard, so thank you to my first Patreon supporter. I'm sorry I've forgotten your name right now. I don't have time to look it up. But he pledged $1. Link to Patreon in the description. Thank you so much for that dollar. That made my day, man. Also, I have a meme Facebook page, which is starting up. Links to that in the description. Just memes of stuff on the channel. It needs a lot of development. We'll go. And I think the camera is about to die, so I will say goodbye to you guys for now. Thanks for watching for another week of pickups. Send your pickups to me on Twitter. Get featured in these videos. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.